inside of you. The flow of your body drips off like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem has a storm. Melody seems to form inside of you. The flow of your body drips off like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem.
Hi, I'm Effie Barker. We are right here in downtown Los Angeles. When you say we're not going away with these issues, what are those issues? Good evening. Welcome to the special edition of Ugnayan. I'm Effie Barker. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Hello, Great Britain. Hello, world. Welcome to Effie Barker Human Interest. I'm your host, Effie Barker. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all. And wherever you are in the world, welcome. I am thrilled today because we have a guest who is originally from Bataan province in the Philippines. Of course, like many Filipinos, she is also a nurse. Now, she worked for a bit as a call center agent in the Philippines before moving to the UK in December 2010. She came here as a student initially, and eventually she became a British citizen. And now she is a businesswoman. She is married to a British man and has a 5-year-old boy. Let us all welcome Joyce. How do I pronounce this? Joyce Pawson. Let us all welcome. Let me put her in. Hello, hello there, Joyce.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Thanks for
Welcome.
having me.
Wow. How was your day?
Well, today it wasn't really busy, but I have to do the school run while my husband stays at, our shop in Bradford. But it's always like that. It's a family life and work life. We really have to be really balance it. But anyway, day goes by and we all just settled. It was all okay.
Right. Well, that's, as you say, life in the UK. And this is what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, again, thank you for accommodating us into this interview. And as I can see, you are very, very busy businesswoman and a mom.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure. I would really, share my input on your station, online radio station.
Right. Well, as I've mentioned earlier, you are a nurse. You are from the Philippines. You worked for a bit in a call center
Yes,
prior to moving here. Tell me your story. Talk to me how you got into the UK and why. This is actually the $1 million question that many people would ask.
I
Why?
know.
Tell me, how did you get here? What was the motivation? Why did you move to the UK? And most of all, also, why UK in particular?
I know. Well, obviously, as Filipinos wanting a greener pasture, it is one of, obviously my dream to work abroad, especially when we took the nursing course before. I think that was the time that, it was so in demand to other countries, even in Japan. So that was around about 2009, 2010. In the Philippines, obviously, if you are a staff nurse or a healthcare assistant, the salary isn't really enough, even now, just being honest. And so some of my friends were thinking, like, researching where to go. And it's actually an accidental chance for me going to the UK. It's actually my best friend who's planning to go here, come here in the UK via student visa. Because at the time, I don't think they issue a working permit generously at the time. So he was like, well, he's a gay, and he was like, oh, let's go to this it's not like an interview, it's like an orientation, something like that. So we found this agency. Well, we went to few, but we found this agency who actually offers a great deal. So we really came here. So actually he left, he didn't want to come. So it's me who pursued this agency at the time. So I went there, inquired about how to get here, all the fees and stuff like that. I went to my mom and said, like, look, I think this is a great opportunity. I must really grab it. So obviously the money involved, because it is quite expensive, because we really have to enroll to a college here in the UK. So being a non-British citizen at the time, you really have to pay for everything, literally everything, from plane ticket to tuition fees to your daily living, um, up to whatever cost it will be. So thank God I've just got in, and that was 2010 December,
Mhm.
and it was winter, obviously, in the UK, and it's the first winter of my life. So
Wow.
yeah, I know. And after a few days, I was like, do I really want to stay here? It's so cold. But then I've got few, friends from the school that I met from Philippines as well. So they were like, no, we could do this, we will be fine. It's a little bit homesick, but you know, we can do it.
Hmm. Yeah. Has it always been your dream to become a nurse, or did you wanted to do something else? But then it was because it was a an in demand, as you say, and so you
Yeah.
took it.
I don't get me wrong.
Mm,
I used to love my job, it's fine. I love interacting to people. I feel really feel really happy when I help, elderly or other people, or obviously people that are really helpless in healthcare settings. But I really wanted a different path, shall I
mm,
say. So I am really into selling. So
mm,
even back home, I used to do some side hustles, not great deal, but selling some stuff to friends, to like classmates, to relatives.
mm,
And I really kind of enjoy that, because it's not just I'm interacting to so many different kinds of people and strangers, but also I'm earning a little bit of money. So that's really my passion, I think.
mm,
Like you know wanting to do business. But
mm.
then obviously at the time, um let's say about 12 years before, in the Philippines, every people, every like most of the the friends that I know took nursing
Right.
course,
Mm,
because they were like wanting to go to America, wanting to go to Canada or
mhm.
here. So yeah.
Yeah. But when you were little, what did you say you wanted to be?
Oh, when I was little, I really want to be a flight attendant.
Oh, interesting.
Because I just want to travel all around the world. That's my belief.
Oh,
But
okay.
then obviously being a Filipina, and I'm not really that tall,
Mm,
and I'm scared of, drowning.
yeah.
So I was like thinking, no, that's not for me.
Yeah. So did you work as a nurse in the Philippines?
Just a little bit,
Mm. 'Cause
because
you need that, right? Mm.
yeah, well, they said like work a little bit to just gather some
Experience. Mhm.
experience. But then sadly, it's really not enough.
Yeah.
What you're earning is really not enough. I mean, I'm only supporting myself at the time, but then still, it's like
Yeah.
you would feel the heaviness of the job,
Right.
and you would think to yourself, it's really not enough what
Yeah.
they're giving you. It's really sad, but
Yeah.
then, what can we do?
So you get paid more if as a call center agent as opposed
Yes,
to yeah.
definitely, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah. I remember I've worked in a call center as well back then, and some of my colleagues were actually from the broadcasting. Um, they were reporters of ABS-CBN and the biggest
Nice.
TV network, and but then they worked for call center because they would be making more.
Yes,
And yeah, it may
that's true.
sound glamorous working in
Yeah,
TV, but you're not really making more money.
yeah,
But then they were always being applauded in at work because they will make a lot of money upselling and stuff because they were really
yes,
good communicators
yes.
and stuff. But yeah, so very interesting. And your friend that invited you to look into this opportunity being a student in the UK as opposed to probably a stepping stone,
Yeah.
you know, come over here. But prior to move, so you was it your first choice, the UK, or did you want to go somewhere else?
I always believe I could go to America
Mm,
because, you know, having a nursing degree
yeah.
and, but then the other thing that holds me back with that is because the NCLEX exam, you're
Mm,
gonna have to review and then pass it. And after that, it would take, I don't know, reviewing, it would probably take years before you get through. So
mm,
I guess when I saw the chance of getting into the UK
mm,
via student visa at the time,
mm,
I was like, well, that's it. It's kind of,
mm,
easier than going to
mm.
America. So, so yeah, we were
Yeah,
students, but then
right. What
we were,
about
yeah.
yeah? What about applying as a nurse to the UK?
Ah, actually, at the time, that didn't come up to my choices because at
Mm,
the time it's the same. They wanted an English exam,
I
and then
see. Okay.
yeah, that's at the time because it was a bit strict. But then, luckily, our batch who was placed to different nursing homes at the time,
Mm,
they were really kind enough to uh, give us a working permit after a
mm.
few years.
Very interesting. So, what you came here as a student? How was it like when you were studying? You were allowed to work as well, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we
So,
were.
how was
We
your interactions? How does a student life of a Filipino nurse um came here in the UK? What was that? Give us a little picture.
Well, studying, we were mixed with other
But first of all, what
nationalities
did
as
you
well.
take? What did you study?
Oh, it's a healthcare,
Mm,
sorry, health and social care
mm,
course. It's still like a healthcare assistant
mm,
level, but then it's like for like senior carers.
mm,
So our school has different people from other countries as well. They have students from India and Pakistan. I think mostly like Asian countries.
mm.
So
How long was the course?
that lasted for like 2 years.
Mm,
So it's like the same length of school here, like start September and then ends in, June or July, something like that. So for that, we really need to like go to school at the time. It's kind of strict because if you really don't follow, they'll cancel your visa and that's it. It's the end of it.
mm,
But yeah, interacting with people at work while studying, um, I feel like obviously I'm so new and it's a new place, new workplace, new faces, new country. I feel a little bit lonely at times, obviously, even though I have friends working with me and, you know, um, fellow Filipinos from back home. Because it will be like you really have to adjust massively and um, you really have to make them feel like you wanting to be there, even if it's really hard.
You mentioned about the adjustments. What were they?
The adjustments, firstly, with the weather,
Okay.
because it's really much, much colder here, obviously, from back home, especially, you know, when I came here, it's winter. It was quite hard to wake up in the morning going to work or going to school. But then, yeah, I think we climatized eventually.
Mhm.
Um, Secondly, uh, with the people, I think. I mean, English people and other people, they were quite nice. But then, obviously, at work, you really have to like how can I say it? You really have to appear really nice to everybody. And us Filipinos, we are hardworking, and obviously being new to the company, if they say, "Oh, you're gonna have to come in for extra hours" or stuff like that, you really have to grab it sometimes just to, prove to them you're good at work, you're good at what you do. But eventually, obviously, you make friends, you know everybody at your workplace, so eventually it went all okay.
Mhm. What work was this?
It's in a nursing home.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice because you were a nurse. You came here as a student, as a stepping stone, but at the same time, not only that you were studying with the same um industry.
Yeah.
I think you were healthcare. It's not really far off,
Yeah.
and then you work also in a nursing home, so you're still within the healthcare
Yes,
sector.
yes, which
That's
is really
very nice.
good.
Yeah, that's very nice. So you mentioned about the weather and you know communicating and interacting with other um I would say nationalities in at
Yeah.
work. And were there any thing particular that would stand out to you that was more challenging, that was really tough as you remember?
You mean at work or?
Both work and at school.
Oh, for school, the toughest bit for school is it has so much paperwork, and you you think it's a college level, but they really have to test you practically as well. They will visit your workplace and see how you do your work. The toughest one for that is for that specific course at the time. We've got so much paperwork, I think, and we really have to do lots of essays in English, obviously, and a little bit of research. Some people think, oh, it's only health and social care, but obviously, coming here as a student, and it was our key for, let's say, a success of staying in the UK. We really must, finish all those paperworks, and hoping that they will give you a pass mark. You know, it's not too hard, but it's just that you are balancing your hours of working, your days of working, plus you're gonna have to have a little bit of social time for your sanity's sake. And studying, it's a little bit of a juggle, but we survived it anyway.
Hmm. And what about the work
Oh, the
itself?
work.
Mm.
With work, for me, I think the hardest part for me is when I was placed during night shift, because it's like my body can't get used to those changes, because um, sometimes you would place into a night shift and then back to day shift again. With workmates, I don't think I did struggle, because I I got along with most of them, and I just go there for work. I don't really um take things personally.
Mhm.
Although obviously it's a nursing home,
Mm,
and people that are staying there are mostly demented.
mm,
So they're not really, they don't know what they're saying. They really don't know what they're doing. So you really have to be tough mentally not to take it all in,
mm,
because it's not their fault, you know. It's their situation.
mm,
It's a disease. We can't really take it too personal. They
mhm.
will they will grab you, they
Yeah.
will swear at you, they will call you names.
Mm,
But I always thought to myself, I am there to work,
mm,
and I'm gonna have to toughen it up. So, but
yeah.
sometimes when you go home, you would think that, oh, it will kind of hit you somehow. But I'm probably brave enough to not to take it all in personally.
Right. Well, how about your interaction with the locals, with the community?
Oh, um, well, you mean at the time when I was starting my life here in the
Yes,
UK?
yes.
Yeah.
They let's say the first few months, first month, second month, third month, when your interaction when you go to a supermarket, you take a bus, just interaction with the community.
Okay, I'm quite lucky, I think, where was staying before when I first stepped in the UK, because we used to live in Essex, where it's quite diverse. It's not new to them to see immigrants. They were well welcomed, and they don't really mind, if you know what I mean. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if they see me or other faces, other nationalities, it was calm and it was okay. I'm not too sure with other places, but I'm quite lucky with that aspect before.
Mm-hmm. Was there any experience at all in your entire life in the UK that you've experienced that something happened that got to your nerve that disliked you about UK?
Yeah, I think probably, uh obviously we are immigrants, and
Mm,
sometimes you would come across rude people on the street. So at the time, I think I've already lived in the UK for more than a year, but this really went into my mind like for quite a while. There are some rude teenagers on the street, and as I was passing, they were like um saying unaudible words, but it was like a Chinese a Chinese words,
mm,
something like that. So they probably think I'm Chinese, and they were like mocking me for like few seconds. But it didn't bother me so much. I
mm,
just, walked away and ignored it. But at the time, you would really think that, okay,
mm,
so there's some people really like that.
mm.
So
On
yeah.
your first few months here, well, before you moved here, did you have any expectations of what UK would be
Yes. Oh my god.
and what
Yes.
your life would be?
Yeah.
And next is when you got here, did those expectations met?
Right. Okay. Let's talk about my expectations before stepping foot in the
Mm,
UK. So I was thinking, oh, it's really nice. I can't wait to see the snow. I think all people there would be really like polite, and they were really nice, which is yes. And I was thinking of a situation, I think of an easy situation, I think, of an everyday life, because I have never been anywhere um, before stepping foot in the UK. Like that, this is my first country to work overseas. I was expecting it will be really easy for me, I think. And then when I came here, the first struggle for me is um, the weather, and I feel homesick, obviously. Um, I miss the I miss my family, the ambience of a happy, you know, family life. Because when I came here, obviously, I have to juggle my time from studying and then working. And then, as a student, when it's on holiday or a bank holiday, you could work as much as you like. So we really wanted to take advantage of that to earn extra money. So I didn't think all of those before coming here. I thought it was going to be quite easy. It's not. I mean, um, like emotionally, I thought I would be really like um I should be fine with homesick. I mean, I did, but then I I cried a little bit. Obviously, you miss back home and you wanted to go back. Probably you were thinking twice. You were thinking like, "Oh, is this really for me?" or whatever. But then I got through it. Did it met my expectation? Um, yes, I think it did. With all my patience, perseverance, and you know, hard work, it all came, in a better place. I mean, I didn't give up,
Mm-hmm.
although it is really a struggle because when they did issue us a working permit, we must stay in that company
Mm-hmm.
for quite a while because if we don't, we it's really up to us to find another sponsor, which is at the time it's really hard. So working in a nursing home, eventually it came to be like a part of my life, like it's going from hard and then medium hard and then easy and then until it's I'm used to it.
So when you said you thought you had your expectation, now it's gonna be nice. You thought of
Yeah.
nice things you get there. When you get here, was it nice?
Yeah, yeah, actually it was nice.
Mm,
Um, Obviously, it's much different from Philippines, from back home. Less pollution. I mean, you see other faces, like what I said, where we were before, where we used to live in Essex. It was quite diverse. So, um, with me personally, I learned about other nationalities as well as at workplace. I learned about other European nationalities as well, where when I was back home, I'm not really aware about those. So, yeah, I think it's not exactly what I am expecting it when I was back home.
mm,
But eventually, it's like became my home as well.
okay. So you said it's nice when you get here. There are things that are nice, but
Yeah.
talk to me about those nice things and your favorite things here in the UK and your least favorite.
Okay. Um, Most of my favorite things in the UK, I think the transport, because in Essex, it's close to London. It's really easy to go around London from there. Buses are really, nice. I mean, it's very convenient. What else? Obviously, I'm earning much more than I used to earn back home, so I could um, I could send money back home and help my family. Um, I discovered the feeling of being an immigrant, the positive side, you know, like when you are when you are here earning your own keep and helping back home, it was really nice. I discovered the feeling of having a Filipino community outside Philippines. So I'm lucky enough to find some Filipino communities back then, as well as the Filipino students from my class before, to be really like helpful. like you find a family from them.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the positive sides? I think the good discipline sides of British people as well, like they're very respectful. I mean, not all, but most of the people that I've encountered, most of the white people that I've encountered, they were really like modernized attitude, very respectful and very honest. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
they won't go about other things. They'll just straight say to you how they feel, and So yeah, there's negative things. Did you say?
Yeah, the least favorite.
My least favorite is the weather. I really love the sunshine, but I'm used to it now. Least favorite as well. Sometimes you could feel that you're really not from here. Like, you know, in terms of some people, how they look at you. Obviously, it's different. It's different phase. We are from other country. Um, what else?
Has there anyone said, well, you probably mentioned earlier about this teenage just because of your look.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm trying
Was
to
there
recall.
anything else particular in particular how that you said you felt that you were different? Is it because people would look at you differently?
Sometimes sometimes you got those few odd people that
Mm,
some when you're in public transport, or you know when you were when you were just walking on the street.
mm,
But I guess you get used to it. It's like in my consciousness, I'm accepting it, that it can happen. I'm
mhm.
expecting it.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about the process.
Oh,
How, yeah, was it hard? How hard was it? No, I mean, how difficult was it? And w- what were the immigration, what were they looking
what do you mean?
like the immigration process when you
Oh, before I come here.
mm,
Oh, yes. I'm not too sure if it's still the same rules, but
mm. Was it
before,
hard?
yes, it was hard. And you've got to put a lot of money to it, I think,
Mm,
because you're going to have to pay for everything. One of the hardest part of applying for a visa, a student visa for the UK, is to show them that you have enough money, and to prove to them that you're not just going to come here and be a burden, I guess. So I just, at the time, obviously, I don't have that much money, so I have to like open a bank account, loan some money from relatives, gather it all up until it comes to the point that it is okay amount, just to show them
mhm,
this is before they approve your visa. Yeah.
mhm.
So this is before they approve your visa. And then obviously the school has to be, approve that, okay, you can come here, because obviously you can't get the visa if the school doesn't approve it.
Right.
So the waiting time, I mean, the waiting game, I mean, it didn't take too long, I think.
How long did it take?
Let's say about 8 months, they
Mm,
gave us a visa.
okay.
Within 8 months, yeah. But the waiting game, though, it's like, because the agency in Manila already processed our visa. So that means they've done their job for us to come here. So whether it's approved or refuse visa, they won't give our money back.
Oh, it's non-refundable.
Non-refundable at all.
Mm,
No. So obviously I was like hoping and praying that it was approved. Otherwise, money goes to waste.
mhm.
And they won't reapply you again unless you pay them again. So
Mm-hmm.
see, it has been that those years, it has been a good business, I guess, for those agencies. Apparently, this owners of the agency is a Filipina
Mm-hmm.
with an English husband. So they were running it for quite a while before we met them. And I don't think it's still on because,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's really expensive now to come here.
Yeah, they must have scrutinized it very well before even taking your money and say this is not, it doesn't look good and you may not get it. And
Oh
just
yes, they do check it. Like the positive side of me at the time is because I finished nursing and I have a little bit of an experience, and obviously I have I have the help of my family to gather the amount that I'm gonna have to pay them. And with the course as well that coming in here to the UK, what I was taking before, it was, as you said, in line with
Mhm.
my previous career. So yeah, luckily, and that's it. Oh gosh, nearly 14 years from then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I can't believe time goes so quick.
yeah. What were they, in terms of the documents? Was it a lot? What were they looking at? And also during the interview, what were they asking?
Oh, in terms of documents, I think you're still gonna have to pass an English exam, but this English exam is not too strict. I think it's just to prove that you can communicate in English and it's understandable. So that was quite easy to pass. For interviews, obviously they wanted to see your background, like what you used to do. But saying that, some of my classmates from the Philippines, some of them are like, working in the office, but they still made it. Um, Questions were like, are we ready to like work in a hospital or in a nursing home? Are we okay um having this job, knowing how carers work in a nursing home? If we are tough enough um to take care of people with
Mm.
dementia. Obviously we don't have an experience with that, but we just say yes, we're okay.
Yeah. Well, I was about to ask, what were yours? What was your answer?
Yeah, I was like, yes, I've got so many elderly in my
Mm,
family. you know um but then I think us Filipinos, we are really resilient, and
mm,
we are we are all clever, in terms of being in a job.
mm,
And majority of the Filipinos that I've met, we are street smart.
mm,
We keep going, we have a really strong heart, and socially we are really good. Most of us, obviously, we are really good socially.
mm.
So yeah.
When you first got here, were you scared on your first month?
Yes, the good thing is where I used to live, our landlady, she's a Filipina
Mm,
with English husband, and they've got
mm,
two children.
mm,
They've got a spare room to rent, so I didn't feel too much of a, you know lonely at the time, because she was kind enough to tell us, oh, this is how you commute. You use this card for buses. She was showing us the local groceries, showing us the local, doctors, GP to register ourselves. Um, I think I was really blessed to have those people around me, because if it's not for them and these other Filipinos that came with me here, I
mm,
would feel really lost. Like,
mm,
I really have to ask a stranger to teach me
mm.
with the money. Obviously, it's different.
Yeah.
So it's scary. It's really scary, but knowing that I have this other fellow Filipinos,
Mm-hmm.
it gave me a little bit of comfort.
When we come back, Joyce will share to us more of her experiences when she just started here as a student while working at the same time. Only here on Love to Beat Radio, LDBO.